Shalom, good afternoon, friends. Shabbat Shalom, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. We're very happy that you're here. And today we would like to open a new conversation about the meaning of the name Sarah and how does Philo of Alexandria, sees the name Sarah relates to the biblical story, and how in a way the New Testament is built on Philon's understanding or reading the five books of Moses. So we are very happy that you're here today. Good afternoon, Victoria. I'm very happy to see you here. Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom. Victoria, if you have questions that you would like to ask, I shall be delighted. If there are terms that you would like to ask about, names, perspectives, I shall be delighted to hear you, or at least to see what you're writing here in the chat box. Of course, you can also join us on Discord. On Discord, you can also speak. We can hear your voices. There is a link under each and every YouTube, so you can find a link to connect to Discord and then join us either by voice or by writing or both. This is a good opportunity. How is the weather today, Victoria, in Germany? Maybe you can write a few words about the weather in Germany. Here it is beautiful. One second. Yes, I see what you're writing. Here is also a new friend. Philip is here. Soon he will enter the conversation. Yes. Here in Israel, it's a very beautiful day. The sun is shining. There are beautiful clouds. There is a good airflow. Quality of air is good. And it's nice to be here with you. Yes, Victoria, what do you write here? Good afternoon, Philip.
Good afternoon, Eddie.
How are you today?
I'm good, thank you. And yourself?
I'm fine. The weather here is excellent. And how is it today?
It's pretty nice. We've started off with a good day, to be honest. I did realise in the morning they did smash out a lot of chemtrails for us for this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Lucky it was just in the morning, but there was a big pile at once. Other than that, it's continuing pretty well, though.
Good to hear. Thank you so much. Here our friends are writing. Victoria is writing. It is so fine. Finally, sunshine. I love it and waited so long for it after this long winter. Yes. And Ruth is here. Good morning, Ruth. And Venus is here. Shalom. Glad to be here. We're so happy that you're here. And Kevin is here as well. So we're very happy. Any questions that you would like to ask Philip? And
Good morning.
Felipe, good morning. Good
Not
morning.
at the moment.
How are you today, Kevin?
I'm well. It's a beautiful day. Rained all yesterday. Good for the ground.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering where I find the concept board link.
Concept board link. I'll try to find it and put it on Discord. 1 second.
How are you?
I'm fine. The weather here is beautiful. It's a beautiful day here. It is the air quality is really good.
I've been missing you all.
We're very happy that you're here. We're very happy to hear your voice. Here I put a link under messages on Discord so you can enter.
Thank you.
And Felipe is here. Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom, Felipe. He's writing here on YouTube. We're very happy that you're here. And who else is here? Fernando. Fernando, Shabbat Shalom. We are very happy that you're here. I hope you can speak. And do you have any questions before we start? Because there's a painting today, there's also a text, and there's also a take, I would say, of Philon of Alexandria, because in a way, the way he writes, this is the he puts foundation to the New Testament, and we cannot read the New Testament without first reading Philon of Alexandria. So, shall we start, or do you have other suggestions or questions? Philip, Kevin, Fernando, Felipe, Ruth, Venus, Victoria.
No questions from me.
No questions.
I did have quite a busy weekend. I wasn't sure if the class was happening today, but if it was on, I was going to jump in on it.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know also only last night, and then I sent a message via Discord and this afternoon and through YouTube and Twitter as well. So we are very glad that you're here, Philip. Very happy.
Definitely. Thank you. Glad to be here as well.
Thank you. So, all of us at the whiteboard at the moment? Kevin, Fernando?
It's taking a little bit to load for me.
Okay, I hope Fernando can have access to... Philip, do you have an access?
I do.
You do. Okay, in Victoria's writing, no questions for the moment, Etty. I am excited about today's topic. Sarah's name is so fascinating. Yes, and we shall see how Philon relates to the name Sarah. Thank you. So, who would like to read the text? Who would like to read the text? We shall focus on the text at the moment. Please, on YouTube, tell me if you see the text clearly. This is Genesis 18, verses 1 to 14. Who is volunteering to read the English?
I don't mind.
Okay, do you have the text clear? The letters are clear also on YouTube? Do you see the text?
It is showing, yes.
1 second. All the verses are clear from the beginning?
All the verses show.
Okay. Yes, please.
And the Lord appeared unto him by the terebinths of Mamre, as he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood over against him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door, and bowed down to the earth, and said, My Lord, if now I have found favour in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee, from thy servant. Let now a little water be fetched, and wash your feet, and recline yourselves under the tree. And I will fetch a morsel of bread, and stay ye your heart. After that ye shall pass on, forasmuch as ye are come to your servant. And they said, So do as thou hast said. And Abraham hastened into the tent unto Sarah, and said, Make ready quickly 3 measures of final meal, knead it, and make it cakes. And Abraham ran unto the herd, and fetched a calf tender and good, and gave it unto the servant, and he hastened to dress it. And he took curd and milk, and the calf which he had dressed, and set it before them. And he said by them under the tree, and they did it eat. And they said unto him, Where is Sarah thy wife? And he said, Behold, in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return unto thee when the season cometh round, and lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. And Sarah heard in the tent door which was behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age. It had ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of women, or woman. And Sarah laughed within herself, saying, After I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure, my Lord being old also? And the Lord said unto Abraham, Wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, Shall I of surety bear a child, shorty bear a child who am old. Is anything too hard for the Lord? At the set time I will return unto thee, when the season cometh round, and Sarah shall have a son.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Who would like to summarize this little text? Just as a story, just as a frame of thinking before we start to dive into the Hebrew and to Philon's thinking about it. Who would like just to summarize the text? Kevin? Would you like to summarize the text as a story?
Sure. Yeah, so basically this is when Abraham was at the tree, the
Yes.
terebinth tree of memory, and he was visited,
Yes.
and it's when he had I want to say so many details, but I'm trying to summarize.
Just summarize the frame.
Yeah. Okay, so this is where the Lord came to Abraham and Sarah and basically told Abraham and Sarah that, or mainly Abraham, but Sarah was listening, that he was going to have a son. And Sarah laughed of his old age, and Sarah laughed, and she's like, I didn't laugh, and he's like, no, you did laugh. And but he was letting him know of a promise.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much, Kevin. And I will need the help of a Hebrew reader. We need to read it would be nice if we could read verse 11 in Hebrew. Who will volunteer? Fernando, can you read? Do you have access to the microphone to read verse 11? Do you have an access to the microphone? Apparently, it's not clear. We shall read again verse 11. Philip, can you please read the English? I would like to focus on it. And please read 11, and we shall read parallel the Hebrew verse. Yes, please.
11. Now Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age. It had ceased to be with Sarah after the manner of women.
Thank you so much. And now, if we don't have friends that will read in Hebrew, I'll do it. Verse 11, Hebrew. ואברהם ושרה זקנים באים בימים. חדל להיות לשרה אורח כנשים. The English says about verse 11 that Sarah ceased to have a manner of women. The Hebrew says orach kanashim, the way of like women. Usually when we read the text in Hebrew or in English, what do we think about the manner of women? What is the manner of women? Usually when people read the verse, what comes to you? Also, people who are listening on YouTube, participate. You can write down your thoughts at the chat box. What is the manner of women? When people are, every person that we show the Bible, it doesn't matter in which language. What is the manner of women? What is this? Venus says, very good, moon cycle. Moon cycle. Yes, this is the way of women, moon cycle. The interesting thing is how Philon of Alexandria reads the text. Philon does not read the text as a text that describes, in a way, biological cycle. He says something very interesting about Sarah. Sarah, from herself as a quality, and we did not even approach to explain what Sarah means. Sarah does not behave like a moon cycle. It is not that she has stopped having the manner of women, meaning menstruation or moon cycle. Philon says the Bible is not written for us as a biology book or as a magazine book. This is how the Bible thinks. And the fact that the Bible says that Sarah stopped having or ceased of having manner of women, it's not that she sees. She never had. Again, she never had the manner of women. In a way, Sarah is not a historical figure. Sarah is a state of mind. And as a state of mind, Sarah does not behave in a moon cycle. I would like to open the word women in Hebrew and to connect to what Venus was saying here. Again, Nashim, women. They have the value of Nashim is 400. Women, Nashim, has the value of 400. But Sarah does not have the way of the 400. What does the number 4 stand for? As we have learned so far, the number 440 or 4. What does this number stand for? Okay, yes?
Is it creation? For
yes.
creation?
Creation, what else? Yes, continue. Yes, more words. Yes, this is one of them. Yes.
The womb, the birth.
The birth. Okay.
The water and the blood.
The water and the blood. So she does not have the way of the 400. She, as a quality, does not have the way of manifestation. In a way, Sarah is a quality. Philon says something even higher. He says that Sarah, the name Sarah, comes from sorer. Sorer to governs or hegemon in Greek. And Sarah is not a biological woman or historical figure. Sarah is the good virtue. The good virtue that governs above everything. We have learned so far that Sarah comes from Sarah, which is a minister or princess or so. But Philon says something very interesting. Sarah is a quality. What quality? The good virtue. In Hebrew, segula. Segula is a virtue. A good virtue. In Greek, arte. So, as a good virtue from its nature does not behave in the way the times or manifestation behave. So Philon reads the Bible again as a book which describes qualities. Sarah is a quality in each and every one of us. What does Sarah represent? The good virtue. Felipe is writing, Sarah had recently changed her name from Sarai to Sarah. Yes, that's correct. Because her name was previously Sarai, and now at the time of which the messengers are visiting Abraham, her name already is changed to Sarai, from Sarai with Yod, to Sarah with Hey, that in order that her name or her quality could deliver a child that comes in a way and appears in time. Her original name, Sarai, is a quality. And who's governing? Always. The good virtue is
it
yes. Question?
is it like when you say virtue or a quality, like is it like weight? Like the volume, the heaviness?
It's interesting because you ask about, in Hebrew, Mishkal Segule is also, in Hebrew it means many things, but good virtue is how, I would say, how the intention that carries the thought of God.
Thank you.
Welcome. Questions?
Good morning, Eti. Shalom, friends.
Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Rodrigo. How are you today?
Fine, thank you very much. Eti, I was hearing what you said about Sarah, and I just thinking. I don't know if you read this verse, the verse 13, when she say, "Shall I of a spirit be a child?" Sarah was old when she giving birth to Isaac, and since you mentioned that Sarah is the virtue,
Yes.
would this means that the child of the virtue is, how can I say, requires a patient, how can I say, a long time perspective that the virtue could bring this child. I don't know if it makes sense to you, but it's not a work for one day or one night, but it's something that you need to invest a lot of time that later
Oh, is it
the
like
child,
ground?
I don't know, sorry Kevin, I don't understand, but I think in a perspective that the perseverance or something like that, the virtue needs the perseverance that to
Perseverance. Yes, the perseverance.
yes, to give birth to a child. I don't know if it makes sense, just I think about this.
Okay. I will try to include what you're saying in the following idea and tell me if I'm getting closer to your way of thinking. You're asking if Sarah is a quality of a good virtue, and the virtue is old, but not old as we think of old men with folds on his face like folded skin. Sarah, as a good virtue, is ancient. meaning the good virtue is ancient, or is the origin of the intention of God. And here comes the reading of Philon. Can an ancient or primordial intention give birth?
But Eti, sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
Since you mentioned that Sarah is a quality or a state of mind,
Yes.
what I try to say is it's not just assess this one moment and this will give birth to a child. It's necessary to stay in this quality or in this state of mind a lot of time, that to allowed to give birth to his sons. I don't know if you understand. Sorry, it's difficult.
I'm trying. It's good. It's good that we converse, dialogue with each other, because we're trying to get closer. You know. Yes.
May I say something?
Yes.
Also?
Yes. Sure.
I just got the mic now. I don't know if I'm with some flu or COVID, but my voice is...
God bless you.
Okay, thank you. It makes me remember, again, Aristotle, if we think about the spirit of time. And Aristotle have that beautiful book that is Nicomachus' Ethic to Nicomachus, his son, a book that he wrote to his son, with the question, how can a man be happy, right? What is the good life? What is the good life? And the whole book, he explained that the happiness is linked to what is timeless.
Yes.
And he is trying to find what is timeless, right?
Yes.
And he concludes that the timeless is the virtue, because to be courageous or to be a man that make charity or that a sage, any quality or the region that it manifests itself. And another thing that Aristotle speaks, that this is why I remember his book, is this what Rodrigo was saying, that you need to practice the virtue.
Yes.
It's not something for granted. Aristotle even makes an analogy. It is like a gym, you know. You have to work out to be virtuous. It's not something that you already have.
Yes. That's correct.
Yes.
Excellent. That's correct. To have a virtue or to go for a virtue is something that we are working for in our daily lives. It's not a present or a gift. It is something that we are daily cultivating. Yes. And this is how, in a way, Philon reads this verse, that in a way the good virtue, which is timeless, give birth to laughter or to happiness. Because why are we happy? Because when we look through the lens of time, we see many defaults, a lot of suffering, injustice. But when we look at life through the timeless lens, everything is perfect and we are happy and we can smile. In a way, this is how the Bible delivers us those ancient ideas. It's not about physical or, I would say, historical people. It's about deliverance of ideas. Sarah, as a qualities, represents the good virtue. The good virtue is timeless, or even here, so to speak, not old, but ancient. The question is, can the ancient or primordial give birth in general, because only what appears in time can give birth. This is why the Bible says she stopped having the way of women, or the way of the 400. So how can the one who is not with the 400, basically with the one, can give birth? This is the question. And there's another question about the ancient or primordial, and there's another question: what does it mean to give a birth to laughter? Only timeless can give birth to laughter, because usually we read the Bible as a magazine, and he married her and they delivered this son, and he married her and they delivered this son, and this is how we read, like a gossip column in the newspaper or in the internet. But the Bible is not a magazine or a social media. It's a philosophy. This is how God would like us to communicate, because this is in a way a medium through which the divinity tries to communicate to us what is her way of thinking and creating life. So we have to be fine-tuned with this kind of thinking. Venus is writing. Sarah also questioned Abe's old age. Text raises fatigue. Oh, okay, this is interesting. I would like to speak about Abraham, and not just Abraham versus Sarah, but versus Hagar, because in the previous chapters we read about Hagar having a son with Abram before his name is changed to Abraham. And Philon says something very interesting about Hagar. Hagar is Egyptian slave that was given to Abraham. Philon says that Hagar, the name Hagar, means to dwell. Gar in Hebrew means to dwell. To dwell. I'll write the name Hagar. Hagar. When we have Hey and then Gar. Gar is to dwell or to live. So the relation of Abraham and Hagar was, first of all, he doesn't look at Abraham as a historical figure. He sees Abraham as a quality that always learns, moves forward, learns, and integrates everything to its daily life and practice. This is how Philon sees Abraham, a constant learner. He never has a border or fences to his learning. He always continues to learn and to research. Now, in the beginning, as a person who learns, but in his beginning stage, he was learning the wisdom of the world. What is the wisdom of the world, or worldly wisdom? Astronomy, astrology, and so. So, as a learner who learns the worldly basic education, where most of the world is dwelling in, Hagar, this is what fits his level of education, like basic elementary school. Basic elementary school. Again, we don't speak about people, we speak about concept. The name Abram, before the letter Hey added to his name, Avram, is high father. So he always wants to know what is the next stage, what is the next understanding, and so he always goes forward. But what nourishes his understanding is the common knowledge, the worldly knowledge. So in this stage, what fits to him, and this is what Philon says as well. A person like this who wants to learn, and at the time of his learning, he's learning what is widespread in the world, like common knowledge, astronomy, astrology. Hagar fits for him because this is what most of the people in the world are doing. But when he is ready for, and Abram is a quality in each and every one of us before we understand there's a higher wisdom, higher of the source. When he understands there's a higher source of knowledge than what is the common knowledge, his name is Abraham. He gets another hey to his name, the 5, the potential. And with such a name, and such a name with a hey, with a temple perspective, can have a child with Sarah, because Sarah is a good virtue. Only a person who understands there's a higher reason for this life is ready to marry or to live with the good virtue. As long as a person lives, I would say, horizontally, with what people usually deal with, astronomy, astrology, science, so basic mathematics, everything is fine. Is a person, as long as we are managing with what is happening in the world, we are like Abram with Hagar. This is what the common people do in this life. But once a person wants to reach the origin of origin, he is turning himself from Abram to Abraham, a high with the potential of the temple, and as a quality of Abraham inside of us, what fits for us as a wife is Sarah, which is the good virtue. Do we understand that those are 2 levels of perspectives? I would say even like this. As long
Is
as
this like uniting the sun and the moon?
yes, we can say horizontal relation. This is with Hagar. Most of the people of the world, and she's a Egyptian slave, or she comes from Egypt, this is the way of the world, the 400. But once a person wants to grow, this is in a way the 4 in the triangle. Once a person wants to go for the origin of everything, he turns his direction from horizontal to vertical. And this is where Sarah is. This is why Sarah does not have the way of the women, because she is a quality. Virtue is always 3. Do we understand that all of those names are stages of development in all of us? Do we understand this concept?
Yes.
I think I understand what you're saying.
Questions, Rodrigo? Thank you, Venus.
It is amazing what you are saying, and it's beautiful. And again, I can remember the criticisms to Aristotle, like Kant, the philosopher. He speaks that a man can be virtuous even in the bad. Like let's say a drug dealer, he can be courageous and he can be merciful to his fellows, and he can have virtues, let's say. But we have another kind of virtue that is related with the number 5, that is related with the 1 to 4, that is the true virtue, that is, it's beyond this idea of even Aristotle, that was more horizontal way, maybe just trying to think about it. It is beautiful.
So let me even correct according to your words. I will even correct it. Some things are not to be put in writing, but just as it is true. It is true. It is true. So each and every one of us, Venus is writing, Esau had a heart too. A heart too. I don't understand, Venus. Maybe you can elaborate your comment. Yes, each and every one of us who's born in this, lifetime, he's born in Bereshit, in the first word of the Bible. And all the scenario, in a way, what we're gonna go through our lives is the, how do you say, the script of the Spirit that the Bible offers. So we are crossing like levels of Abram without the hay. Before we just learn the wisdom of the world, because this is what there is. Like there's yoga and there's like all kinds of learning plants and learning dreams and homeopathy. This is also the worldly wisdom. Yoga and so and plants and all kinds of workshop until we are full and we see it doesn't bring. It's okay for the time it was, and then we continue. And when we continue horizontal, and this is it, when we continue horizontal here, this is interesting, the good virtue. Because all yoga and homeopathy, all of those things are here, still in the horizontal. Questions? Rodrigo, did you understand? Can you hear us, Rodrigo?
Yes, I'm here. I just thinking about in all of you are saying, and I thinking in another perspective. I don't know if you could I put on the table.
Please, please.
You mentioned that Sarah is a quality and a state of mind.
Yes.
And there is a lot of characters on the Bible, as Moses, as Joseph, and all of, and Cain and Hagar.
Mm-hmm.
I just try to try to understand how could we harmonize all of this state of minds. How could how can I say balance all of these qualities inside of us, because they are very strong characters, and we need to balance this inside of us. And sometimes we have the Moses quality and the Havel quality and the Sarah quality and Abraham, and I try to understand how balance all of this inside of us.
It's a good question. We don't need to balance. They are just popping and we notice them, and this is it. All of us are having those qualities. Abraham, Sarah, Isaac, all of us are having them inside of us. All of us are having it. It's the print of the soul. We are going through those stages of development inside of us. Questions?
But
they
are living all together inside of us, but yes, not at the same time, because we are living the time. I know that sometimes we need to go beyond time, but it's hard to know who has the voice at the moment.
It is not that we need to know what is it will come. It will come. But let's say, without going into details, each and every one of us, yes, who's participating in this class, probably he went through a way in his life of education, probably. So there's elementary school, and there's like high school, and then higher education, and we complete this higher first, second degree. Each and every one of us is in his realm. And then what else? Okay, people get married, they have children, and then what now? So they're trying yoga, homeopathy. Each one tries like martial art. People are going through many stages. They're trying this and chess and all kind of thing. Do we understand the concept? This is interesting to understand that Sarah is the good virtue, in a way the timeless virtue in each and every one of us. Sarah is a notion, is a state of mind. This is why, in a way, if we want to go into it, into this deeper, this is why she's asking Abraham to expel Hagar and her son. Because most of the people, I was participating in Bible lessons also here in Israel, in like a high level of, so to speak, conversation. All of the teachers are speaking from a level of gossip, level in the newspaper. How can a man expel his son? Yes, something like moral. But the Bible is not a book of moral. It's a roadmap to spiritual growth. So the question is, what does it mean that Abraham expel Hagar and Ishmael? And what does it mean that even Sarah asked from Abraham to expel Hagar and Ishmael? Do we speak now about moral decisions? Or we speak about the discussion between qualities? Because if this is a discussion between qualities, what does this conversation wants to deliver to us? What does it mean to expel Hagar and her son Ishmael? Who would like to attend the question? Philip, Kevin, who would like to attend the question? What does it mean to expel Hagar and Ishmael? The idea.
I think that the idea is to move on, to go to the unknown, to leave behind everything that was important before, the titles and all the things.
Yes, this is what it means. Yes. Not to hang on to the 400, to the matter, just continue and moving on. This is what it means to expel Hagar and Ishmael in us. Because Hagar, please remember, is a what? Egyptian slave. In us. Hagar and Ishmael lives in time. And if all of us wishing to go for the timeless, we have to leave Hagar and Ishmael inside of us to continue, not to attach to time and to its appearance, but to let it go and to continue. This is what it means. Because if you notice, Hagar and Ishmael are being expelled into the desert. Desert in Hebrew, Bamidbar or Midbar, and the word Midbar has, how do you say, dual value? I don't know how to say this in English. How do you say dual, even and uneven? It's an even value in Hebrew, Midbar. 1 second, I'll write it. Midbar. Where is the pen? I don't have a pen. Sorry. Midbar is desert. Desert or wilderness. Midbar has the value of 246. This is even number, again duality. So this is a not historical story how a mother and son are being expelled. This is not. This is where they belong. Time and conflicts belong to the desert. In a way, we are living Hagar and Ishmael in us in the right place, in time. Do we understand the concept?
Yes. Means detachment.
Yes, don't fight with the past. This is what happens to us. Everybody can testify. There's an ongoing conversation, and we are rising in our mind something that happened 1 year ago, 2, 3, 1 moment ago, and we are confronting it. It could be better. It could, just let it. It has passed. It was 1 hour ago. Everybody continues. Life continues. Our breaths are. We have since the last hour many new breaths. We are taking more air inside. Don't hang on with the past. Don't fight with the past. There's a beautiful song of Nick Cave. A person named Sarah, I think, wrote him a letter saying that she's struggling with her past. And Nick Cave answered her in an open newsletter, not just to herself, but he shared with his readers his answering letter for Sarah, how not to struggle with time and with the past. Felipe is writing, that's why Joseph was sold to the Ishmaelite from the desert. Yes, Felipe, can you elaborate? Yes, but yes. Yes, he circumcised Ishmael before he released him to the world. Yes. Questions or thoughts that you'd like to share?
That was good.
Thank you. Kevin?
Thank you. It's been very wonderful.
Thank you. Rodrigo, questions or thoughts?
Not at the moment, thank you.
Fernando? Venus, Felipe, Victoria, Ruth, questions or thoughts that you would like to share? The question in general, do we understand the mindset of the Bible, the mindset of Moses as author of the Bible, 5 books of Moses, the mind of Philon, who
You're basically saying that it's built on qualities and like foundational principle truths.
Yes.
And that's where the allegorical connection is for reading, instead of just being linear and thinking like a timeline of like a magazine or a historical, but it's to almost like, as you would mine out gems and to search for hidden treasure, is to look for these gems, which are the qualities and the different attributes that have been scattered throughout the scripture.
Excellent. Yes.
Thank you.
You're most welcome. And in a way, Philon, maybe you can, I believe that you can read Philon's writing in English, in Portuguese, in French, in German, and so Philon writes in his books in the beginning that his words are not to everyone, only to the fewer who made their own way in life. It's not for everyone. because he relates to every verse of the Bible in a very, very because it's the truth. Like Kevin was saying, truth, emet, teum. Like the Bible is the twin of truth. The Bible does not stand like as like magazine, story in a magazine. The Bible is a truth. And teum, we say twin, teum, this is twin, ofit, ve'emet, truth. Those are the same letters. The mem here is different because this is a regular and this is a final. But the Bible is the truth. And as the truth, it fits reality. Yes, Felipe is writing, very good, meaning Joseph was sold to time duality. Very good. The spirit, very good, because he is 6 times the tetragrammaton, so he was sold into the world of the 6 to Egypt. Very good, Felipe, very good. So the Bible is the truth. We don't speak, and when the Bible speaks about age, or we see numbers, again, whenever we see number in the Bible, it's not how do you say, quantity. It's not a quantitative numbers like we go to the supermarket. It's a qualitative number. Whenever we see, like in the 5th year of the king such and such, this is not that we can go to Wikipedia and find out historically which year was it. When it says in the 5th year of such and such, the Bible speaks of 5 as a quality that holds the origin, 1 plus the 4 expression in time. So in a way, it's good if we are very cautious when we are reading the Bible. I just 2 more minutes. This beautiful painting by Rembrandt. I don't know if we have time. If you have another minute, maybe you want to continue in your life. This is also very good, and I respect it. Do you have a moment to relate to the painting or not?
If I
Yes,
could
yeah.
add,
Do we have?
Yes.
Who would like to describe in 2 sentences, and then, because I don't want to keep you from your free time. Who would like to describe?
if I could just add as well before we go to the painting, that's as well. I could speak for Christians, but I'm sure all religions basically do it. That people use the Bible as a guide or an opportunity for God to respond to a prayer that they're having through the verses. It just stood out to me when we were speaking about the Bible there. But please, the painting.
Thank you, Philip. So who would like to describe in 2 sentences what do we see here? Even one. Who would like to?
3 angels and Abraham.
Yes.
And an angel, there's a hand in the direction of Abraham and look like say something to Abraham, and Abraham listened, the angel, the middle angel in the center.
Yes. And what do you see in the painting?
And
Only?
there,
Yeah. Yes. Yes,
the
Kevin.
messengers are young, and Abraham is old.
Very good.
And they are surrounding a circular table with food upon it.
Excellent. And this is the only thing you see here in the painting?
Abraham has a knife in his hand.
Yes.
And there is could be Sarah in the behind Abraham. Could be a woman. Yes, outside of the
Yes.
door.
Yes. So we
see
see,
it.
yes, so we see Abraham, the three angels, 3 plus 1 is 4, and Sarah as the potential or timeless stands behind Abraham. Look at the posture of Abraham, how Rembrandt um, painted him. What is his posture? How can you describe the way he sits? Please describe the emotional, cognitive, psychological cycle of Abraham at this moment of the painting.
He seems to have attention leaning forward,
Yes, very good.
you know, upright.
Yes. He seems to have it like
And
he's
he's
living.
staring.
Yes.
He's staring to his left or the picture's right.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He seems to have attention, like he's we could say that he's sitting in front of us. He has attention of a living person who is listening to something that puts him, you see, he's like vertical, he's sitting very straight. I mean, he's leaning forward to hear the good news in a way diagonal, but he is intent. He doesn't seem bored or dreaming or suffering. He's much concentrated in a conversation. He is alive.
Long beard, white long beard.
Yes, what is a long beard?
The white long beard is Zeir Anfin or Arich Anfin agora. I
Yes.
remember the
Yes.
the three higher Sephiras.
Yes, it's
Sefirot.
true. White beard, not a black beard. White beard is like Arichanpin, the long face or the long perspective. Yes, not short perspective, what is frontal, but white beard is like long life perspective, like in terms of wisdom, ancient wisdom perspective is white beard. This is it. Yes. Yes. And the angels are what telling him? What is the good news here? That
He will have a son.
from timeless. He will have a son from timeless. Isaac, Yitzchak, he shall laugh, because laughter is a fruit or the son of timeless. We can laugh at things because we have distance in time. Because at the moment a person can fall on banana peel, but after a few months he can sit with friend and laugh about himself because he is in timeless. He is not living the moment of sliding on a banana peel.
You remember when he came out to sit and look at the stars?
Yes.
Is when he laughed. And then this is the time when Sarah laughed.
Yes. 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 This is excellent. Because to look at the stars, this is it. This is the worldly, the horizontal wisdom or education. This is what everybody does who like to be smart. They calculate the relations between the stars. This is the Babylonian wisdom. And God says there's higher than this, higher than the stars, higher than the, because the stars already are located in the sky in a way that we can see, meaning the stars are visible. If they're visible to the human eyes, they appear in time and space. So what do you try to calculate? Only what appears to your eyes? You cannot calculate what is not appearing because it's hidden. And you will have a son. This is it. If you listen to Jill reading the amazing scroll of Esther, this is what Weinreb claims along the whole book. This is a very beautiful and devoted reading of Jill, which I really appreciate. All of us are appreciating the reading, and this is what Weinreb claim along the whole book. There's a hidden, the hidden aspect of God or the divine thought, we cannot take into consideration because it's hidden, but it's working and it's appearing in its higher function in our life. Yes. Questions so far?
Thank you.
You're most welcome. You're most welcome. Questions, thoughts, sharing.
The angel on the back is very relaxed with the hands behind the body.
Yes, yes, yes. Beautiful. We could speak about this painting for hours, and I shall be glad to do this, but for today, our session, I believe, is almost complete. We would like to thank all of you who participate in this beautiful conversation and donating from your time, your heart, your thinking, your experience, your reading. And I would like to greet all of us in a very good week. And we shall be here on Monday at the same time. And until
Great.
then, good week.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Shabbat shalom. Thank you.
Super.
Shabbat shalom.
Bye,
Shabbat shalom.
Shalom. Thank you. Shalom.
Shalom.